So some of you may know that I'm actually getting married in a little less than a year, and yes, when it comes to my wedding, I'm excited to celebrate the love of my life with my family and loved ones, blah, 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 but what I'm really excited about is the content. I'm view farming, baby. It's like, yeah, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person, but what I really want is, say it with me, more footage for YouTube Shorts. And hey, I'm not alone. I mean, for a lot of people who don't post on social media all the time and film their every waking moment, I mean, whew, can you imagine? But for a lot of people, their wedding day is literally like the one day where they're like super visible in front of a big group of people. They're being filmed from every angle and the spotlight is truly on them. And based on what I've seen from some of the viral videos on the internet, a lot of these people can't handle it. I mean, a lot of them just fall flat on their face, or even worse, make their bride and or groom fall flat on their face. So without further ado, I went ahead and found some of the internet's cringiest wedding moments.
I was and always will be one of the easiest people to please. Only two things are required to keep me happy: keep my belly full and my balls empty. Though you're amazing at half of it, we really need to get you some cooking lessons.
Whoa, he made a joke about his balls and then also shit on her cooking. I would have advised against either. He went for both at the same time. Bold strategy.
Even when my belly isn't full, there is no one I could ever love more in this lifetime, unless I actually get a chance to meet Margot Robbie.
Oh, the poor bride. She laughs like, haha, yes, he would rather be with Margot Robbie. But you hear that, Margot Robbie? This guy's interested. You have a chance with this guy. You could be the one this man is humiliating in front of your friends and family.
Life gets even better when the kids fall asleep and you tell me to come to the bedroom. Nothing's better than the sound of gagging and headboard slamming.
Michael.
I love the delivery of that. Michael!
Michael.
This woman who I assume is his mother is playing no games. Like, the bride kind of has to laugh along and pretend at least that she's sort of cool with it to save face, but the mom's just like, Michael, no, wrong, evil. Also, damn, it would be insane to say all of this shit if your mom was just like sitting in the crowd. He's saying all this shit with his mom standing a foot away from him.
Being that I am his mom, I will deal with him later. He is grounded.
Even a funny joke about wanting to fuck your wife probably wouldn't play with this crowd in this context, but these aren't funny jokes. Like, it would be inappropriate in this context to be hilarious about fucking your wife. He's being unfunny about fucking his wife, which is just like sending a shiver up my spine. Like, it really is just crazy to say these things in public. I mean, maybe it's my Catholic guilt talking, but like, I think it's crazy to say these things in private. I never want to hear this shit.
He will forever have my heart, and that's a promise till death do we part. P.S. Since you're so good at making decisions like marrying me, you can choose whether tonight's gonna end with being a toaster strudel or a Twinkie.
You can choose whether tonight's gonna end with you being a toaster strudel or a Twinkie. You can choose whether tonight's gonna end with you being either a toaster strudel or a Twinkie. Oh, he's talking about cum. Nice. I'm also hazy on like the order weddings go in, so I don't know if like if you object to this union speak now segment is like before or after the vows, but I will say like wherever it falls, the entire crowd should stand up and be like, we object to this union. We object to this union, and it's 100% because of all that gross shit he just said in his vows. We, all of us as a collective, object. Also, I've seen like so many viral videos of like grooms' vows being cringy and awful. It's like, have grooms writing their own vows literally ever worked? Like, has any groom sat down after saying his vows that he wrote and gone just like, fuck yeah, nailed it? Like, literally the only example I can think of like grooms writing their own vows and it going like kind of okay is like Alex Warren. You know, former David Dobrik cover band, current chart-topping mega pop star Alex Warren. I feel like he wrote his own vows and it was very well received.
I promise to always put you and our family first, and if death do us part, I promise to find you in every lifetime.
And I think the reason the internet loved Alex Warren writing his own vows and not this other guy is because Alex Warren wrote his vows in a very clever way where he didn't mention his fucking balls. Grooms, take it from me and Alex Warren. You can never go wrong just not talking about your balls. Like, I've been to a few weddings and I have never once gotten home after a wedding where the groom didn't talk about his balls and thought, man, it sure would have been nice if the groom talked about his balls. Missed opportunity. But hey, at least when it comes to this groom disrespecting his bride, he used his words, which cannot be said for this next guy. Okay, it's not even just that he puts a little bit of icing on her face, it's that he uses the icing to drive her fully back onto the ground. Like, he basically hits her with like a WWE submission hold. We hear his audio and he's just going, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Also, look at the way she immediately recoils. As a general rule, when you start to do something and your partner's immediate reaction is to recoil, like, stop doing that thing. Don't double down. What's crazy about this is like, this isn't even just like a one-off of like a guy being weird. Like, this is basically a whole trend.
When your husband smashes the cake all over you before your first dance.
Wow, he just keeps going. I keep thinking like, oh wow, that is really terrible. And then it doesn't end. It just keeps going. Also, the thing about this is like, I bet people would be like, oh, this is like a tradition. It's a tradition where kind of the groom puts a little bit of cake in the bride's face. Has the tradition ever worked? Has the bride ever enjoyed the tradition? Because like, these sorts of things are only fun if they're fun. It's only fun if both of you are having fun. Also, I hate that bit he does at the end where he kind of like crumples the cake up and then sprinkles it over her head. That's like how like a medieval boy king would humiliate a serving girl. He'd just be like, come here. This cake is dry. Mother, fetch the headsman. And here's an article kind of talking about the aftermath. Woman divorces husband after cake smash. Here's the thing, I'm not even gonna read the article to find out about like which specific cake smash this is referring to. It could literally be in relation to any of the brides who have had cake smashed into their face by their groom, and I would think it was totally justified. I would totally get it. But hey, at least the cake smashing debacles happen at the very end, you know, after the ceremony, during the reception. Some cringe wedding moments kick off at the very start of the whole shebang.
And you're the name above all names.
I gotta admit though, after all like the cake smashing videos and the vows, I am kind of relieved that the bride here is at least part of the cringy behavior. It's like, okay, at least they're both in on it. I also kind of want to tread a line here because like, I don't want to mock people for being religious, but also I don't think that's what's kind of absurd here. Like, the crazy thing isn't necessarily that they're beginning their wedding with worship. The crazy thing is that they're beginning their wedding with karaoke. Like, that's the problem. This is kind of just about the singing, because I know it's about the singing because if it was truly just about the worship, they would have like a professional priest or a professional choir or something.
You are worthy of all praise, and our hearts will sing.
The groom's on his knees. He doesn't have a single song where he needs to be doing all that. I imagine this is the type of worship where God's hearing it like, yeah, actually, I'm good. You can just go on and have your wedding. You don't, this is not for me. I don't want this.
And you're the name above all names.
As they're singing, the camera just slowly pans to their guests, and every single one of them is just trying to leave as quietly as possible. But again, the silver lining of this one is, hey, at least the bride and groom are united in this, you know? That's what's really important. Bride and groom can't agree on wedding size and style, so they're having separate his and hers ceremonies. Seems like there's a far more obvious solution to the bride and groom not even being able to agree on size and style of their wedding. How about, like, I don't know, not having the wedding? Maybe you're not ready to kind of commit to a lifetime together. She wants a small wedding, he wants a big wedding, explained an outraged Reddit user. Is there any other kind of Reddit user? Of their unnamed sister-in-law's unconventional plans to tie the knot. Oh, come on, name your sister-in-law. Let us dox this lady. Instead of compromising or working together, they're each having their own wedding. For their non-traditional nuptials, the bougie bride has arranged a destination micro-wedding to be held over 3 hours away from the pair's hometown. Conversely, her groom has organized a large local bash. The newlyweds have secured separate venues, hired staff, and created 2 different gift registries, according to the post, which is firing up fury from fuming readers. Say that 10 times fast. Fury from fuming readers. Fury from fuming readers. Fury from fuming I couldn't even get 2. I couldn't even get 2. Barely got 1. So she's having a destination wedding. He's having a local wedding. I assume that, like, she will be present at his and he will be present at hers. Because otherwise they're just kind of both taking separate vacations. Dumbest, most self-centered thing I have ever heard, scoffed an incensed commentator. Okay, I don't know if it's like the dumbest, most self-centered thing I've ever heard. Because I heard that first guy's wedding vows. I think that was both dumber and more self-centered. I sure would not be attending both weddings, wrote an equally offended onlooker. Well, it sounds like you weren't invited to either one. You're just an onlooker. How about look away? How about that? But overall, I would say yes, this does feel like a band-aid solution to a much deeper problem. Like, the red flag here is so obvious. I feel like I'm almost like, wow, am I missing something? Am I weird for having the same wedding as as my bride. But okay, so they're splitting the wedding in half, all right? So presumably in the her ceremony, they'll talk about how much they love each other and then romantically cut the cake. And then in the his ceremony, he'll talk about his fucking balls and then suplex her through the cake. That way everybody wins.
يلا جاهز انزل بيها 3 2 1 يلا 3 2 1 يلا اوعى تسيبي عريس.
Yeah, I bet this bride is currently wishing she did a separate wedding from her groom, preferably as far away from him as fucking possible. But look, hey, let's wait for the full context, okay? Let's not rush to judgment. Maybe he only dropped her in the water because he just got done sprinkling cake crumbs all over her hair and he's trying to wash them out. Did you ever think of that?
اوعى تسيبي عريس.
Damn, bad enough he throws her into the water, he doesn't even help her then get out of the water. He just holds up his arms like he won the Olympic gold medal in being a terrible partner. Which, by the way, a hard gold medal to win, because in the Olympics you're competing with like the French and stuff. Imagine if like as soon as she climbs back out, he just does it immediately all over again, but this time he yells, "This is Sparta!" and then kicks her right back in.
This is Sparta!
Oh shit, he actually did that for real. I like to think this time when she fell into the water, her divorce lawyer was just waiting at the bottom of the water in a scuba suit with like laminated papers for her to sign. That way, as soon as she comes back up, she's already free. That's my headcanon, that's what happens. That time I performed a dance on my wedding day, knowing my religious family would look down on it. I'll tell you this, like, you guys don't know my fiance, but what I do love about this is that I could totally see my fiance doing this. Oof, man. And hey, you know what? I would react exactly the way this groom is reacting. I would just kind of nod and sit there and play my part. I like how you can see at least one wedding guest in the background who's just sitting at their table and not even looking at her while she does this dance. She's kind of like, "Take this, religious family," and then her religious family is just like, yeah, can you pass the hors d'oeuvres? Neither here nor there, but I kind of love the all-white sweatpants look she has going on. That looks cozy as hell. Cozy clothes at the wedding reception is a flex. I will be making a note of that. All right, you know what? I gotta be honest. I like this. All right, maybe kind of like my standards are low because I've sat through all the other like cringy wedding moments, but this seems fun, you know? It's cringe, but this is like fun cringe, you know? I cringe because it's earnest and weird, you know? But like that earnestness and willingness to be weird is also kind of heartwarming. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. Sorry, I'm not a fuming onlooker, okay? I think this is kind of nice. Also, everyone in the comments are kind of like, "You can tell the groom wants to divorce her." It's like the groom knows who he got married to in this case. He knows this is the sort of stuff she does. This is me just like, you know, amping myself up to kind of withstand this when my fiance does it at our wedding. I'm just sitting there like, I knew this was coming. This is okay. I knew this was coming. One thing that my fiance and I have talked about is doing like a crazy choreographed dance number, specifically like, you know, Moses Supposes from Singing in the Rain. It's like this insane like tap dance number. And we do talk about like taking like lessons every single day to just like completely alienate our friends and family doing this insane tap number. So, you know, if someone else in a year makes a video of cringe wedding moments and they include that, know that I saw that coming. I prepared myself for that. I'm not actually gonna do that, but I don't know, who knows? Maybe I will actually do it. Who fucking cares? So look, I gotta admit, all of these kind of cringe wedding moments have given me a lot of inspiration, you know what I mean? And I've decided, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip the script. So I'm gonna have my fiance smash my face into the cake, and then I'm gonna have her throw me into a pool of water. And I guess really just at that point, just kind of beat the fucking shit out of me. And then I'm gonna have her do an interpretive dance over my passed out body while giving a gross, highly explicit speech that shocks and alienates all of our family and loved ones. So yeah, you know, that way, because it's her doing it to me, the internet will have nothing to get mad at. And that's the ultimate goal of a wedding. I know it's definitely the ultimate goal of my wedding, to give the internet nothing to be mad at.